Here we go. Good morning. No, it's good afternoon. It's afternoon already. We are at, there's the car, vehicle. We are at a location. I never parked at this trailhead before. Here is where we are. PanhandleTrail. And we are in Midway. Hi. Alright, so there you go. Midway Trail East, Primrose, 1.5 miles. Now, I've been on that section when I had my bike. I was a couple years back. This time I'm going this way towards Bulger, I think. Yeah, let's go this way. Oh, forgot to set that. Good thing I remember to set that.
You saw that too?
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, I saw it too.
Hi. Yeah, back in 2023, it's going to be almost 3 years now. It was like September of 23. I had that bike. I still have the bike. So I rode it down here. I had parked in McDonald and rode it to Midway here. That was the longest trip I used on that bike. So that says 1.5 mile back that way to Primrose. This is towards Bulger, which I was at last Tuesday. I forgot to say, today, today is Monday, June 1st, 2026. Start that intro all over again. We are at Midway, Pennsylvania, on the PanhandleTrail, and it's a nice day. It's gonna be a nice week. Weather's good. Finally, get a clear stretch of days. It's supposed to be, at least. Let's not jinx it. Now see, I'm looking straight ahead and I'm seeing like a real wide open section, which I'm not happy with. I like this right here. This is the way I like my trails. Tailored for me. No, what I mean is, you got your trail, you got your tree line real close. Your tree line's pretty close here. Right and left. Once it gets real wide open though, I'm not real crazy about that. And looking straight ahead, I'm seeing a real wide open field. So I don't think I'm going to like that. Anyway, once again, on the PanhandleTrail, excuse me, damn, they've paved those trailheads since the last time I was out this way. So, see, I was out there, well, never mind that. Let's just say now in 2026, these various trailheads that I've been at, on one in Burgettstown, one in Bulger, and one here in Midway, they're paved, which is excellent. I love paved trailheads, parking lots. I don't like when you drive up to a trailhead and it's all full of potholes and it's like a dirt surface and it's wet and muddy and whatever, or even just dirt and dusty, you know. I don't like that either. So okay, here once again we're on a section of the PanhandleTrail that I was never on before. That's what I like to do. I like to go to sections of trailheads that sections of trails that I was never on before. How about sections of trailheads? That's good too. Sections of trails. So this year on the Panhandle Trail was in Burgettstown down towards Joffrey. There was a part of it I had been on before, but most of it this year was new. And last week there was Bulger to Joffrey and back. This time it's Midway towards Bulger. First time on these trails, sections. Now that bench is kind of beat. Old time bench. And this long section of the trail is straight. And up here too. Panhandle Trail is pretty straight. And it's paved in Washington County, so that's good. Hearing some kind of, I guess that's somebody cutting grass or something. Or is that maybe an airplane or something? I don't know what that is. Anyway, I don't think I'm going to like this up here. It's like wide open field. No trees next to the trail. I remember seeing this on a Google Earth one time. Oh, way back, 3 years ago when I was looking at these trails. And I said, I don't think I'm going to like that Panhandle Trail. Now, I've taken that back a little bit. I kind of like certain parts of it. I don't like the wide open, I don't like this coming up. So, let's get out of here. Let's go to another trailhead. No, I'm going to go this way now. Now that I'm here, I'm not going to go back. We're going to do it. We're going to stay on it. I'm going to see what it's like. This ain't that bad. It's a wide open section. Wow, this is really crazy. Hi. 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 Now check out this wide open field here. Wow. Yeah, actually that's not that bad, seeing this. It's different. I think I had that horn. Usually have one of those ringers, bells. Hi. Yeah, actually, this is kind of unique. I haven't seen a trail that looked like this. This wide open area here. Unbelievable. We know it gets better up here because I was in Bulger last week, and there's, it's pretty nice with the tree line close to the trail. At least I was heading the other direction, but it looked like it would be this way for a while in this direction. Yeah, that Bulger to Joffrey was pretty nice. Hi, you too. let those people pass. I'm gonna get a shot with my alternate video set up. Okay, so we are on the Panhandle Trail. That way goes to Midway where I parked. And it's wide open field here. Beautiful sky. And then that way heads towards Bulger. Let's just do a whole 360 on that now. Here I am in selfie mode. That thing's crooked again. Can never get that straight. Fix my head is crooked. Alright, that's what I was hearing. There's a helicopter over there. There's a helicopter. Where the heck is it? I can see it with the naked eye. There it is. There it is. Helicopter. He's coming back this way. Where's that helicopter going, man? Flying around in circles. Probably surveilling me. It's like, what's that guy doing down there on that trail? Meanwhile, it's like right out in the wide open. I mean, there's nothing you can do down here. All right, there's mile marker 22 coming up. Panhandle Trail official mile marker. I don't know what's going on with that helicopter. It's just like practicing. Someone's learning how to fly. And that mile marker looks kind of dated, the paint and everything on that. Mile marker 22. Now, last week I was saying I thought that was a sticker that someone put on there, but see, that sign says Great American Rail Trail. That's part of the sign, that little white sticker on there. And this thing's complaining now. End workout? No. Dismiss. I'm gonna have that problem again. Last Tuesday I had that. Every time I did anything, it was shutting off. It's trying to stop the workout. Now last Thursday, I was on the Gap Trail. That never happened, I think, on the whole trip. And I picked up my phone plenty of times for taking photos. And I didn't, obviously didn't touch it wrong. So it kept the workout going. I didn't have to keep restarting it. You know, I'm not crazy about this, but actually I'm not too bad with it. Hi. It's kind of peaceful out here. It's different for sure. Wide open. You can't hide anything out here. Unique, very unique. There's only a couple places on trails that I've been on that look wide open like this. Like one is down on the Montour Trail near the Champion Mine. There's this real wide open section that lasts for a while. That's unique. There's also the Montour Trail down near the PRT station in the library. There's a real wide open section there. But this is definitely wide open. Wow. I did not know that. I mean, I can kind of remember when I was looking on this map, years ago, 3 years ago. I haven't looked at the map for a long time, the Google Earth. I mean, I look at it for the trailheads to see where it is and where I can park and everything. I never studied this part of this in detail. This trail is really cool. I'm just rambling on. It's what I usually do.
Have a good day, bud.
Hi, you too.
Thank you.
Let's break out the camera. The alternate video situation. We're going to capture some of this. And that beautiful hill over there. That sign right there. I wonder if that's a gated thing for this, whatever this pipeline stuff is over here. Probably a gate entry or whatever. Back to selfie mode. There's a cool looking hillside right up there. I love that hillside right over there. Right there. Okay, that's enough of that. Gots to keep moving. What am I going? I'm going like 0.6 miles. It's like down on the Montour Trail there near Champion Mine. There's a section with some stuff like this fenced off, but you could like walk right up to it. Here you can't. I mean, you could walk up to it, but you don't want to walk in this grass, this tall grass, and get involved with ticks and such. So here's this. No real signs on anything. I mean, there could be a sign, but they didn't put it. There's probably cameras there checking me out. Alright. Sounds like a helicopter's coming back. I really like that hillside over there, man. Really liking that. Okay. Helicopter's coming back this way. It is going real slow over there. Gigantic field. You don't see stuff like this too often. I mean, up close, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I mean. I mean, you'll see stuff like this. You're driving on a highway. You see some pretty nice looking fields like this. But I mean, where you're like walking right in the middle of it, you don't see that. Or you don't do that. Cool. So let's ask the question to the to myself first, but to the audience of the viewers of the video. Do we like this wide open thing? Do we like the wide open thing like that, where it's just wide open on both sides, gigantic fields on both sides? Or do we like this one where it's wide open on one side and there comes some tree line on this side? I don't know, I guess I like it. I always said that I didn't like the PanhandleTrail, some parts of it at least, because of the width. I'm actually coming to love this. Come full circle. Hated it, now loved it. There's just something about this out here, just out in the middle of nowhere. You got this nice path here. Guess I better drink some Wawa. I was going to go up north today, or initially thought about it, up to the Allegheny River Trail, but I kind of got up late. And not that late, but a little bit later than I wanted to, and then it's like I didn't feel like driving all that way. You got to get a good start. Places I was looking at, it's going to take, they're like mainly between 70 and 80 miles away from where I live. It's going to take like maybe an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and 20 minutes, maybe longer to get there. So you better get an early start. So we'll save that for another day. Well, I tell you what, right here, there is just something about this. It's so quiet and so peaceful. There's no homes, there's no buildings, nothing. It's in the middle of nowhere. The only noise is me yapping. Well, you could have a lot of fun out here. When I was a kid or something, you could go all around these hills, riding your bike and stuff. Alright, so here's a pipeline. Comes through there. You could see some trucks have been up through here. Like truck right up there, and then on this side it goes way up there. Wow. That's pretty steep. Okay, then right down in here is like a little valley with a lot of water. It's pretty full with water right there. This warrants another alternate video. Alright, so that way goes back to Midway. And these cool trees up at the top of that hill, that ridge there, look at that. Cool trees. Alright. And then on this side, you've got your trees. So here I am, out in the middle of nowhere. There's nobody here. Always got to check your watch to make sure your workout is still recording. Hi. This is a nice downhill stretch for that guy riding that bike. Now it goes back uphill there. I remember when I rode that bike here, not here, but like from McDonald up to Midway, there was a long stretch where it was like heading downhill back from Midway down to McDonald, a long downhill stretch. See what it says. Did I cross 1 million? 0.9. Now that's really nice looking over there. So you see all the tree line there. It's up on a hillside. That's pretty nice. All the growth in here, so it's not like real wide open. Now here, it's different. But nice. So the last couple videos I made, I streamlined the editing process, or not the editing process, but the whole overall process by not relying on iCloud to do much. Basically, manually take the video files from this body cam, DJI action cam, get them fairly quickly over to the computer, and then from there do the editing without waiting for iCloud to sync all that crap from the iPad or whatever. I wish that DJI app was available on your phone, on your computer, because then you wouldn't have to do that other intermediate process with the iPad or iPhone. But it's doable. Well, the other way is, like I said before, you could take another video. I said it, where you can take apart this stuff and take the SD card out, and then just copy the files over to your computer. I don't like taking all that stuff out. I got this thing. I want to keep it intact. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. I could take it out, but it's got a little bracket and everything. It stays in this little neck brace thing. I don't feel like taking that apart and dealing with that. I like doing it electronically. So basically, use the app on your iPad to get the files off.
Mike on the left.
Hi. This is interesting. There's a curve in the trail. Now this reminds me, just staring at those hillsides and everything, of something like when I was a kid riding mini bikes out in the strip mine areas. The only thing there you'd see like the gray or charcoal colored slag dumps everywhere. Here you're not seeing that. That's a nice area right there. Now that I mentioned it, there we go. There's my head in between two different landmarks. All right, so we've already gone 1 mile, over 1 mile. A little roadway over there. Hi. Hi. See, way over there up at the top of that hill, you'll see stuff like that when you're driving out in the countryside. There we go. Way out there. You see that grassy hillside up there, way up there. You'll see stuff like that when you're driving. Especially like I come down on I-576 and there's a lot of cool scenery along that road. Cuts through all this kind of stuff. Hi. Hi. Now we're getting back into the more traditional looking trail with your trees and everything on this side on the left, and on the right you've got your trees and a nice valley down there. That's cool. Looking good. Well, so far I've seen a bunch of bikes, but I'm the only one walking. And this kind of a trail is definitely completely different than that gap trail. I mean, that gap trail hugs the river, Youghiogheny, etc. And, you know, you've got your, like, hillside on the one side of that trail, and then you got your river on the other side of the trail. Here, this is out in the middle of nowhere in a field. Totally different feel to this versus that other trail. I like it. I mean, I like a variety. I'm going to try that Allegheny River Trail. There is so much to that. I was looking on a bunch of YouTube videos and checking out the maps. There are so many different trails up north on the Allegheny, along the Allegheny River. And some of the trailheads look pretty deserted and remote. So that part I probably won't like. I like to feel safe when I go to a trailhead. Oh, here comes somebody. Hi. Hi. Interesting looking bike. Yeah, I like to feel safe, and then I also don't want to like mess up my car too much. A city boy who loves his country trails. Doesn't want to get dirty. Doesn't want to get scuffed up. All right, now this looks completely different than what we just went through. Right here. So look back there. There's that open field stuff. There's that big hillside. And over here, it's more traditional look. Quite a variety on this section. I was watching the news this morning saying the pollen levels are high now for allergies. To be expected. Now last Thursday, man, I was like hacking so bad down on that gap trail. Sneezing and couldn't breathe right and everything. Now here's a pathway that goes down. There's a little thing of water down, a little lake, pond. Not a lake. On video. So here, okay, let's just show where we're at. There's PanhandleTrail heading towards Bulger. It's a cool field over there, and somebody mowed the grass. I guess there's a pipeline up there. That looks pretty. And that way goes back to Midway. And then down here, you've got this path. It looks pretty rugged to get down there, and there's a little pond down there. Right there. There's a house way over there. Sounds like I'm hearing that, it's got a bug on me. I'm hearing that, helicopter again, way far away. I'm going to give this a high rating today. This is a excellent trail. Going through all these different kinds of places. One out in the middle of gigantic fields on both sides. Now you're back into this. You've got your tree line. You've got cool looking fields and everything over there. And then you've got tree lines up close. Beautiful. Wonderful. Marvelous. Marvelous, I should say. Now it looks like we're going to be getting close to that Bulger. I don't remember how many miles it is between Midway and Bulger, but we're going to take a quick look at a map. and see. Let's get rid of that. Oh, you got to be real careful when you try to minimize that. All right, so we're coming up on Bulger, but we're not there. And where's Midway at? Let's go back this way. Yeah, Midway's back this way. I don't know if you can see that on this body cam. Midway's over here, and I'm right there where that thing's highlighted. And there's Bulger. So, maybe we'll get to Bulger. Where are we at on mile? Okay, 1.3. I think we're going to keep walking until we get to Bulger. Why not? I feel pretty good. So if you're in Bulger like it was last week, and you're like, wow, look at this trail, it's beautiful. You never know that section back there is that wide open stuff. So I have to give the Panhandle Trail credit for variety. This is reminding me of last week's trip from Bulger to Joffrey. Nice tree line, and then you've got these fields like that. There's some homes over there. There's an old bench. So it'll tell you something. Last time I was in Panhandle Trail in Midway, I was in 2023. I was on that bike. In that gas station in the middle of town, there was a Valero, but now it's a BP. It changed to a BP. So I don't know when that happened. Check this out. There's a little mowed section there. Goes over to those homes. Little unofficial path. Cool. Yeah, you can tell we're getting into a homes and stuff up here. Getting into a town. There's another pathway over there. One thing I will say about this here Panhandle Trail, you don't see a lot of remnants of railroad remnants. Remnants of railroad remnants. How that makes sense. You don't see any remnants of that. You don't see like mines and coal mines and such. All you see is just a path through the middle of the countryside. Mile marker 23. Mile marker 23. See, every one of these signs has that Great American Rail Trail little symbol there. And I thought at first, when I first was looking at that last week, I thought it was a sticker that someone put on it. But no, it's part of the sign. Which I already said before, and I'm repeating now. And check out these pathways. Someone cut another one through there. That looks really nice. Get over to those homes. Hi. Jumping over to the political front real quick. Probably shouldn't, but I'll tell you, I'm getting sick of hearing about this Iran stuff now. Okay? I know I support what Trump did, but this is just dragging on too long, and these people can't be trusted for anything. I think we should have kept the bombing campaign up longer to really put them into submission so they just knock it off. But no. So who knows, man. There's a house real close here. So yeah, last week I was down there in Bulger, went towards Joffrey. Now Joffrey's a nice town, but there's no trailhead associated with that for the Panhandle Trail. Doesn't seem like there's anywhere where you could really park either, like on the side of a road or whatever. So I got the trailhead in Bulger, and then I got the one in Burgettstown. And then back this way they got the trailhead in Midway. If you want isolation, you can go on that Allegheny River Trail. That looks like it's pretty darn isolated. It's along the river, but it looks like long stretches where there's nothing. And there's a lot of bridges that cross over waterways, you know, like either the Allegheny River itself or side waterways that come out into the Allegheny. That might be a little tricky for me. I don't know. I don't like heights too much. If the rails are real high, the railing's high on those little bridges and stuff, that's okay. But if it's not, and you're walking out in the middle of like a waterway, I think I would get shaky and not want to do it. I always got to remember that I've done that stuff when I was younger. Like I walked across the Golden Gate Bridge in California, in San Francisco. I did that in 1984, it was a long time ago. I also did a Kinzu rail bridge up there in Kinzu country. I forget what it's called, Kinzu. Well, whatever it was called. It was the rail line that went through, and then that part of it caved in and was destroyed in a storm. They kept one section that goes out into the middle of nowhere, and there's a little observation deck. Hi. I remember doing that, and it was a little shaky because you were walking on that Kinzu thing, and the footing wasn't too good. You had to watch where you walk. You feel like you're going to slip through. There's like the wood planks in that, and you're feeling like, oh, Jesus, this doesn't look too stable. I was a little scared of that, but I did it. Now there's a bunch of abandoned-looking vehicles over there. So we're definitely coming into a town. Yeah, we're getting close to the Bulger setup. You can hear a road, so it's probably that road I was on last week. At Bulger, Candor Road comes down into the middle of town. And I could see something up there. The trailhead's coming. I see cars and stuff. So yeah, we were here last week. We're going to get to the same point again now. And then we'll turn around and go back. So I've done those, walking on those high, bridges and stuff. But those were all a long time ago when I was younger. And I still was kind of shaky on them. Now that I'm older, I'm more shaky on stuff like that. I feel like you're going to lose your balance. You're focusing on it too much. You're looking at the side and you're like, oh no. It's all mental. I mean, some of it's physical. I mean, I'm old now, but most of it's mental. There's the Bulger trailhead. Lady's got her little canister of bear spray or something on her back there. Pepper spray, whatever. Gots to be prepared. But that was a pretty good trip. I mean, it's like about 1.8 miles from Midway to here, which is decent. Now let's get over here and look at this sign real quick. Alright, so we were here last Tuesday. This is the Bulger trailhead. See if I can get this body cam there. So that's our Bulger trailhead. I was just at Midway where I parked. Last week I walked to Joffrey. There's no parking symbol there. But then there's Burgettstown. Some of these other sections don't have. There's a long section here in West Virginia that doesn't have anything in between. Hi. So I'm going to take a picture of this. Alrighty then. 1.8. Hi. .8, heading back. Not a bad trip. Not a bad trip. Does that mean it's a good one? Hi. Okay, we're heading back. That was Bulger trailhead. Now we're heading back to Midway. Rate this one as an A+ for variety. This trailhead, this trail between Midway and Bulger. You're seeing everything. I'm hearing something walking over there. What the hell is that? I think somebody's coming up on you. No. All right. So you stare straight ahead at this and you go, wow, yeah, look at this. You would never know and never even imagine what this is going to look like about a mile ahead of us here. Totally unique. So my goal this year is to keep going to different trails and go to different sections of the trail. Let's firstly say that I've never been to before. That's hard to do on the Montour Trail because I've been to most of it. But at least to say, like in 2026, you say, well, let's not repeat any place of the trail that I've been to in 2026. And that's true from, let's see, I started doing this in March this year. This is June 1st today. 3 months. And I have not repeated sections of walking on the trail, Montour Trail. Then I started the Gap Trail, and I have not repeated that yet either. I mean, I've gone to the same trailhead once, but twice. But walked on different sections. And same here now for the Panhandle Trail. I have not repeated any sections yet. Now, if you head west from Burgettstown, that's going to be one of those deals where you can start walking west. You'll get to your normal couple of miles, and there won't be anything, no trailheads or anything. You come back. But then the next time you say, I want to go in another part, the next trailhead from Burgettstown, way down, and it's far enough away that you're not going to meet up to that midpoint to Burgettstown. So it's going to be like that with the Gap Trail too. You'll get to some sections you just cannot get to without using your bike. Hi. That's okay. Still, you can go to a town, a trailhead, do your 2 miles in one direction and back, go the other direction, do that too. So you cover a lot of that. Next trailhead might be further away, but you still do the same thing. The down and back kind of deal. You just won't be able to get to every section of it by walking. Huh. Hi. But there's one thing I'll say about this Panhandle Trail. I said it before too, years ago, that if you're on your bike like I was, and I'm a novice at that again. I'm riding a bike after, 50 years of not riding a bike, 55 years or whatever. It's like, yeah, it's a little rusty. Plus, I'm not in the greatest shape. This is the kind of trail you want to be on for a person like me. This is flat. This is paved. And it's not as tricky as those crushed limestone parts of trails like Montour Trail. This is the one you want to be on if you're new like me. But so far I've hesitated to get that bike back out. I just like walking better.
Hi.
Now, if you're going to do the trail bike riding, you don't want to be like that guy, not wearing a helmet or anything, even eye protection. So we went to 1.8, so it's going to be like 3.6 total today. That's great. Hi. fast. Another option to throw out there to think about is to get another bike, get an e-bike. Then you can do pretty much anything you want with an e-bike. You don't have to worry about, your stamina, getting tired and all that. The only thing is, the e-bikes are heavier, and when you're lugging that around in your vehicle, and if you didn't want to get one of the racks on the back of your vehicle, you want to get one of those folding bikes. Like I have a folding bike. It's not an e-bike, it's just a regular bike, but it's a folding one. You can fold it up and put it in the back easily. Those e-bikes that are folding, you can get one of those, but they're going to be heavier. So, there's always something, the downside is something. Like I can just tell you right now, I don't want to have a rack on the back of my vehicle to lug a bike around. I just don't want to do that. I'm not the rugged outdoorsy kind of person to put stuff on the top of his vehicle or on the back of his vehicle. There's mile marker 23 again. Boy, how'd you like to live over here? Way out in the country. Like, I don't do any camping or anything like that. I'm not really, like I said, an outdoorsy kind of person with that. I like doing this trail walking. As long as it's not too rough. And the trailheads are nice and well kept, paved and such. That's one thing with this Panhandle Trail. They paved all these trailheads. I'm going to have to see what it's like down in Primrose and then McDonald. McDonald, there's that one place that, I forget what it's called. Like they sell stuff there, little shop. That little parking lot was paved, but the bigger parking lot where I parked for the trailhead was not paved when I did it 3 years ago. If they paved that would be really nice. I'll have to go down there and check that out. Let's get some water. There's a bench. Because when I did that 3 years ago, let's get this water first. I spent a lot of time, I went in the direction towards Midway, both walking and then with the bike. And that's all paved, that's Washington County. I went in the other direction from McDonald over towards Sturgeon. I just walked that one time. That's not paved, that's not Washington County. And I only went, probably less, maybe half a mile or something, and came back. I didn't really go that far. I went down to that road where that Oliverio Buick is, and then went back. I wasn't really like setting out to do that. I was just kind of fooling around, doing little snippets of trails in that particular day. I'll have to go back there because there's a section of the Panhandle Trail that I didn't go on. It goes from roughly there in McDonald down towards Oakdale. I never did that section. I like the fact that, I really love the fact that they paved those trailheads. They really did a good job. Montour Trail should do the same thing, man. Pave those trailheads. it's all a matter of funding. Montour Trail has a lot of maintenance upgrades they got to do. Every year there's some kind of damage from the flooding, raining and stuff. Then they've got the tunnels to deal with. Repair on tunnels. The newest project is the National Tunnel. I'm so glad I was there October, and then a little later in November they closed it. I got a nice video of that National Tunnel. I got a couple of them from last year, and I got them going back to 2023, 24, and 25. I haven't been to that section again this year in 26. Now here we go. We turn the corner and all of a sudden, so there's that. And we turn and go, wow, look at this. It's like it's wide open. Amazing. It's like when you're watching that Wizard of Oz movie. There's Oz through the poppy field. Here's the gateway right here. Get through this fence, and you're on the other side. Let's take a look at this real quick. Let's get this fenced off and get the water coming down through here underneath the trail. But it's dry right now. Okay. So these are the kind of fields that I'm talking about when I was a kid riding a mini bike. Let's get a shot of that. Oh, geez. All right, here we go. So there's your Panhandle Trail. That way goes back to Bulger, and that's what's real nice and tree line real close and everything. Now you get into this section where it's wide open. But down in there, that kind of slate dump is what we used to ride mini bikes on, little paths like that. All through the countryside between where I lived in Sturgeon and over towards Noblestown and then Oakdale. All in the back woods areas. I would say between Noblestown Road and North Branch, all the stuff in between there, going from Sturgeon all the way to Oakdale, we take all those kind of paths, like this wide open thing. This really reminds me of that. Right over there, I see that pathway, and I'd be on a mini bike, say, yeah, we're going on that. We just like do whatever, man. Nobody supervised you or anything. You're just out there in the wilderness on your mini bike. It was such a freeing feeling. Times were different back then too, because you didn't worry about getting mugged or losers coming up on you and stuff. You didn't worry about any of that kind of stuff. Yeah, when I was doing that, I was like 13 years old. What is that, like 54 years ago? Damn. Well, May 26th, 1972 is when I had that mini bike accident. That changed everything. The bike failed. When I hit it up on a particular bump, it cracked the front axle in the bars that come down from the handlebars down. It cracked that, and I lost it. I went over the handlebars and ruined my face for a while there. It ruined it. That was a nightmare. The mini bike accident of 1972. Prior to that, it was wonderful. It was beautiful to be out on that. See, the thing is, you were a kid and you were allowed to do things and you weren't monitored. You know, my parents didn't, keep me under a strict rule. They said, "Oh, I'm going out on a mini bike ride." "Oh yeah, sure, come back, come back for supper time," whatever. Look at that over there. Man, that's beautiful. This is so nice. I'm going to take a couple more pictures, alternate videos. There's that one hillside over there. That lone tree on the top of it. I don't know if these pictures are going to do it justice. This is so beautiful out here. Stay here forever. It's a totally different feeling being on this trail than as opposed to, like, say, the Gap Trail or the Montour Trail. Totally different feeling I'm getting. The vibes. Hi. 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 One thing that's the same is when you're on the Montour Trail, especially down here towards, the airport area, is you hear the airplanes going over. Like, especially down there on the Montour Trail, between Coriopolis and, say, like the Beaver Grade. So you're going from Coriopolis to Haslam, and then from there to the old Beaver Grade. So there's like three different trailheads there. You're always getting the airplanes flying over. The same thing here. Airport's right over there. Not right over there, but I mean, it's in the vicinity. Hi.
Hello.
I was looking at those videos about the Allegheny River Trail and the different names it has all along the way. Like Sandy Creek Trail, there's one National National Country Trail or something. Scenic. I can't remember it not right now. National Country Scenic Trail or something like that. All those different trails up there. There's nothing out there. And when you look at the trailheads, they're like just a little dent in the side of the road. You park your car. It doesn't look very safe. It's more rustic kind of stuff that I'm used to. Now, like the Gap Trail, you could say that's similar, but no, it's pretty well known, it's pretty publicized, and the trailheads are beefed up, they're nice, and you kind of feel safe when you go there. I do, at least. I feel safe when I park at those places. There's going to be more remote ones that I probably wouldn't feel safe. The ones I've been at so far, I feel safe. Now, on that Allegheny River Trail, I don't know that I'd feel safe. I need some water. Well, let's put it this way. The trailheads in those towns, like there's that one in Emlenton, there's one in Foxburg, there's one when you go higher up towards Franklin, and there's those look, they're safe, you're safe. But I'm talking about in between. Things look pretty rough. And there's certain sections that aren't complete. The trail has gaps in between. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. I'm probably going to want to go to like the safest ones, safest places to start out. So I was almost going to do that today. There's one in Foxburg. So you'd go up 79, I-79, cross, get over to Route 80, I-80, go across there. Hi. You'd go over towards Emlenton, get off that exit, and then you'd head down towards that Foxburg. And there's a little place along the river there. Some businesses, there's a trailhead there. That looked pretty nice. There's one up in Emlenton that it's on the one end of the town. That looked okay. Let's see, the one in Franklin, I think I checked that one out too. Here we go with this blowing nose thing. I hope I don't get that like I did last Thursday, man. I was hacking like crazy. Ooh. That was a nightmare last Thursday. I was like, had so much of that post-nasal drip, they call it, I guess. Going back in your throat, you can't breathe, right? You're coughing, you can't catch it, you can't stop it. You're like, until it clears out. You're hosed for probably like 10 minutes, you're hosed until you get rid of that. That's a nice straight trail there, and a nice straight trail that way. Out in the middle of nowhere. I can't get over this. See, what gets me on this is you're like on this trail, right? It's paved. It's like a major deal. But then you're looking, you're like, there's nothing around. There's no houses, there's no people. You're just like in the middle of the planet. Like, that'd be like you're on Mars or something. There's nobody around. You're in the middle of a field. There's nothing there. You're like, I'm the only person here. I'm on Mars. I like that area right over there. Beautiful. How many times did I say that today? And you look on the map, you see that Allegheny River. You see how it curves around like that? Man, it's just up and down and around and around. It snakes around, just like the Youghiogheny. I mean, all these rivers do. Youghioghany's the same way, man. It's just like, I'm looking straight ahead there. It almost looks like some kind of dust or smoke or something. Is that what that is over there? Does that look like some kind of smoke? Jeez, that's close to where I parked too. I hope everything's okay when I get back. And somebody's burning wood or something. Who knows? We'll find out when we get there. I still hear that helicopter. I'm not seeing it yet. I still hear it flying around. Oh, it's a plane. Okay, I see it. That's a plane way up there, a little plane. If you have an emergency, you'd be able to land here, no problem. No problem with any homes, or you got a nice landing strip here. Nice beautiful trail. That's kind of what I feel like. It's isolation. I can imagine being in an airplane like that, by yourself flying around. You're like, wow, there's nobody here. There's nobody else around. I'm all in control of it. I'm out here in the wilderness, up high in the sky. I'm going to have to mute this stuff out on this video. I'm just rambling on. This field over here is really something to look at, which we will do again. All right, trail, flat and straight. Beautiful hillside right there. I love that one. And over here, look at that field, man. It's wonderful. And there's a flat trail again. And then there's the other side. Now here's a selfie. That right over there is really nice. You gotta be really careful when you touch this thing, man. You mess something up real bad. You screw up your walking. Okay, so it's recording still. Nose break. Yeah, nose break. Yeah, I broke my nose. Nose break. I broke my nose back in 1972, that mini bike accident. It's still crooked after all these years. They didn't do anything to it. It broke, and they didn't set anything, and they just left it alone, and it healed up. But it's kind of crooked. And also, I noticed I don't breathe perfectly well through that one side. Hi. Boy, it looks like you could just run through that field over there. Which I'm sure that when we were younger, we would do. We'd say, look at that field, let's run over there, go. Wouldn't even think about, ticks or anything like that. I mean, who thought of that kind of stuff back then? You just did stuff. You didn't care about stuff like that. That's a beautiful field. I must have said that, 10 times already. I'm fascinated with this. Wonderful. Unless they put this pipeline stuff here, there's no sign telling you what it's all about. It's purposely, disguised. There is something written on the side of that. Yeah, maybe that's just painted. That's just paint. We're almost at 3 miles, so we got 3.6 total to get to. Because that was 1.8 one way, so. So that guy didn't do the right thing. He had no announcement, no bells, no nothing. He just came up. I could hear his wheels turning, but you're supposed to announce or ring a bell or something or yell like that guy last week. There's a guy last week. I was down there towards between Bulger and Joffrey. That guy yelled real loud. It scared the hell out of me. On your left. I'm going to say it one more time. This is so pretty. It's so unique that this trail exists like this in a field in the middle of nowhere. Now my leg's starting to get stiff. I've crossed over the 3 mile mark. Like I said, they paved this trailhead up here. But it is pretty small trailhead. There's another one in Midway. I went near that today. I wanted to see if it was paved or what it looked like. It's just an open gravel field right near the fire department. I went to the other one that's the paved one. I mean, I didn't know it was going to be paved until I got there. Looking on Google Earth, it still showed it not paved. Even as of last summer. And I wasn't on the PanhandleTrail in 2025. What do you think about that? No, I'm sorry, I was. I was in Walker's Mill. Yeah, I was in Walker's Mill in June. Right near Rennerdale there, and I headed towards Oakdale. Yeah, it sure is. Yeah, that's right. I was in Rennerdale. So thinking back to my times on the Panhandle Trail, 2023 I did a lot between, say, McDonald, a little bit towards Sturgeon at one time, and then McDonald over to Midway, and then also in Burgettstown. 2024, I think I did a little bit of it right there in McDonald. Yeah. I parked in McDonald there and I went just up a little bit. I went on that connector that goes up to the Montour Trail. Let's see, what did I do? I walked back. Okay, I walked on the road. I did walk on the road back to my car, that's right. Then I also, later that year, 2024, I went into Walker's Mill. 2025, I only went to Walker's Mill. 2026 now, I've been here, say, Burgettstown Trailhead, the Bulger Trailhead, and now the Midway Trailhead. There's this bird right on top of that sign. Cool. That bird's chirping a lot. And he finally flew away. Oh, that was like one of those Baltimore Orioles. When he opened his wings up, you see that orange? That was pretty nice. See how far along technology has come. I was messing around with an old iPad that I had. It was like my second iPad. So I've had three. It was my second one. I got it in 2015. And I didn't realize until yesterday. I was trying to put some files on there. And I filled it up. I went, what the hell is this filling it up? Jeez. And it turned out I only had like 128 gigabyte on that. Didn't even remember that. So I had to start deleting a bunch of stuff. Now on my new iPad, and I got in 20, it's like not new, it's like from 2020. I think I got 1 terabyte on that. And then there's another airplane. I've been finding that I need more and more disk space with these videos. They take up so much. Like last week's 2 different days, Tuesday and Thursday, the videos turned out to be over 18 gigabytes each. That adds up. So I got all these external hard drives now, putting all this stuff. I got iCloud, paying for that. Paying for the extra storage. I'm starting to not like iCloud anymore. It's just taking so damn long to copy stuff up there. I mean, I got decent internet. I got an email today, came from the outfit in... Hi. It gave me the stats on I'm over the max, my percentage of the speed is higher than the plan and all that. It's like I'm doing great, I got great internet, blah blah blah. Hi. Just talking about your download speed is higher than the plan, your upload speed is higher, etc., etc. And I'm sure it is because it's fast. Okay, I watch all kind of movies and things on streaming and all this stuff is good. But when I'm trying to copy stuff, sync stuff to iCloud, it slows way down. Or even let's say I'm copying some files from my computer hard drive up to iCloud and storing it over there. I was just doing that yesterday and it was like taking forever. There's no way to speed it up either. Like you think about rebooting, you think about getting rid of, certain files, blah, blah, blah. You think about not using your other devices that are using the internet and streaming and all that. You just kind of like cut out everything and wait. And you're sitting there, it's taking forever. I wish there was a way to speed it up. Like manually, a manual override. So I found that what I'm wanting to do nowadays, more than anything, is get my stuff copied from my various hard drives, either iPad or a computer, whatever, over to external hard drives, which I've been buying, and storing my stuff that way. So I've got a lot now. I've got a 2 terabyte SSD solid state drive that's getting close to being full with all these videos. I've got another 2 terabyte one, just an HHD. I got a 4 terabyte one now, and I've got another 1 terabyte one coming. Ordered all this stuff. It's crazy. All these external hard drives now all of a sudden. It all started with this hobby of doing these videos, doing these walks and doing the videos. I'm realizing that I don't have the storage on my devices, and I'm not really loving iCloud Drive as much as I thought I might. So I'm finding I want to take control of my stuff and have it put where I want it to be put as quickly as I want it to be. Forced. I'm hearing another one of those. Oh, that's probably somebody cutting grass. It sounded like a helicopter, but I think it's somebody cutting grass. So now we're getting into the Midway town area. And my leg is really stiff near the hip area again. See, once you walk, like I'm going 3.4 miles, I have to go to 3.6. I got 0.2 to go. But once I get over 3 miles, I get the muscle stiffness. What a difference. Look at this right here. This looks like the Montour Trail. Very nice. I love this with a tree line on both sides real close to the trail. But then out that way was that wide open thing. Wow. Actually, today I have a newfound appreciation for the Panhandle Trail. I was dismissing that. In 2024, I did it that one time at Walker's Mill, and I went, I just don't like this Panhandle Trail. I was like complaining about it. So I didn't want to go to it too much. Last year I only went that one time to Walker's Mill. But now I kind of want to come back. So I want to go, future trips I want to go say between McDonald and Sturgeon and then Oakdale in that direction. I also want to try going from Burgettstown out west, although there's not a lot of trailheads there in between that and West Virginia. I also want to go to West Virginia and walk back east. Then I want to go back to the Gap Trail and try more of those places. There's plenty to do there. And I also want to try the Allegheny River Trail. That looks like it would be the scariest for me. Find some mountain men like that movie Deliverance. Some kind of mountain dwellers. It's amazing the amount of forests and just wilderness that we have in Pennsylvania. It's a beautiful state. Alright, so we're almost back. We're almost at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're almost at the 3.6. We got 3.53 miles. I see my car still there, which is great. We want to make sure that it's still nice, got a nice parking spot. I hate when people park next to me. Looks like that guy parked next to me, maybe. I always like to take an end spot and then park on the edge of the spot. I kind of did that today. I think I'm okay. Hi. That car's a little bit closer to me than I want it to be. Damn. That's that lady that just pulled in right here. Alright, so we're back at the Midway trailhead. There's a sign that says Primrose 1.5. Let me get this. Midway trailhead, Primrose 1.5. 0.75, McDonald 3.5, Walker's Mill 10. Alright, so I think we're going to be signing off. Signing off right now. Almost right now. Let's wait here for a second. Alright, signing off right now. Bye-bye.